You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. The spokesman of the Ministry of Commerce, Penn Sovicheat, told EAC News that the decision to buy fuel from Russia or other sources is the right of the private sector. EAC News reporter Deccan Nin has further details.
Speaking to EAC News on Wednesday, 22nd of June, Spokesperson Penn Sovicheat stated that Cambodia is a country with a free market economy and the Ministry of Commerce just acts as a regulator and facilitator, gives advice and has no authority to order the private sector to buy goods or commodities from any specific source. He said, "We have observed that there is information that the price of oil bought from Russia is cheaper, but there is no indication or any incentive for the private sector to buy from any source, as it is the choice of the private sector to make their own decisions. I cannot tell you about the source of oil and where it's imported from, or if it needs to change to a cheaper source, as it depends on the private sector to decide which source is cheaper to buy, easier to transport, easier to contact, buy from, etc." The crisis of rising oil prices stems from Russia's launched attack on Ukraine and the US-led West, which subsequently imposed a series of sanctions on Russian energy, particularly cutting off Russian gas and oil exports to the world. China and India have, however, seized the opportunity to buy crude oil from Russia for refining and distribution. According to Reuters, China's crude oil imports from Russia saw a 55% year-on-year increase in May, knocking Saudi Arabia out of the list of top suppliers to China as Russia offers supply discounts in the face of sanctions. According to data from the Chinese Customs Administration, Russia's oil imports, including supplies pumped through pipelines in the Siberian Pacific Ocean from Russia's European and Far Eastern ports, totaled nearly 8.42 million tons. This equates to about 1.98 million barrels per day, up from a quarter of 1.59 million barrels in April. Data showed that Russia has taken the top spot of suppliers as the world's largest exporter of crude oil after a 19-month gap, showing that Moscow can still find its buyers despite sanctions from the West and discounted prices. In Russia, the current price is about 93 cents per liter. In the United States, it's about $1.37 per liter, and in France, it is $2.19 per liter. The price of fuel sold in the Cambodian market between the 21st to the 30th of June is 5,800 riel for regular gasoline and 6,300 riel for diesel. Prime Minister Hun Sen has often spoken out against Russian aggression on Ukraine, but has decided not to support any sanctions imposed on other countries, as this would lead to further losses that made the global crisis worse. While addressing the World Economic Forum Strategic Outlook on ASEAN session on the 25th of May, Prime Minister Hun Sen said,
រឿងតនកម្មនេះគួរតែឈប់ប្រើទៅវាអត់បានផ្ដល់នៅផលប្រយោជន៍ណាមួយសម្រាប់សូម្បីតែអ្នកដាក់តនកម្មគេក៏ខាតខ្លួនឯងដែរកុំថាឡើយប្រទេសយើងក្រីក្រប្រទេសដែលកំពុងដាក់តនកម្មទៅលើរុស្ស៊ីតើបានអីត្រឡប់មកវិញកំពុងតែចោទបញ្ហាឥឡូវខ្ញុំលើកឧទាហរណ៍មួយប្រសិនបើរុស្ស៊ីកាត់ផ្ដាច់អូស្មန်ភ្លាមនៅអឺរ៉ុបជូនមកអឺរ៉ុបប្រទេសអឺរ៉ុបតើប្រទេសអឺរ៉ុបនឹងប្រើប្រាស់អ្វីជំនួសអូស្មန်តើទៅកាប់ឈើកាប់អុសដើម្បីចម្អិនអាហារមែនទេនេះមិនតន់ដល់កម្រិតដែលរុស្ស៊ីកាត់អូស្មန်ចេញពីអឺរ៉ុបទេប្រសិនឥឡូវនេះសូម្បីតែអ្វីដែលធ្លាប់នាំទៅរុស្ស៊ីឬរុស្ស៊ីធ្លាប់មកទាំងអស់គ្នាសិតតែខាតវាប្រៀបដូចជាការបិទទ្វារអញ្ចឹងកាលណាបិទហើយយើងក៏ចេញមិនរួចគេក៏ចូលលំបាកអញ្ចឹងទេតនកម្មវាស្រោចត្រូវទាំងអស់គ្នារាប់ទាំងត្រូវចំពោះពួកយើងដែលមិនមែនជាអ្នកជាប់ពាក់ព័ន្ធវាបានបង្កើតជាបញ្ហា